So now continuing with this Java tutorial, core Java tutorial, let's look at inheritance in Java. What is the concept of inheritance? Inheritance is a mechanism when one object acquires all the properties and behaviors of a parent object. The idea behind inheritance is that you can create new classes that are built upon existing classes. When you inherit from an existing class, you can reuse methods and fields of parent class. Inheritance is the relationship, also known as parent-child relationship. So basically the concept here is you already have a class with a lot of methods and implementations, okay? And you want to just use it. So you just inherit that class and you can start using the methods of that class. That's one of the simplest way to understand. So you basically inherit an existing class and start using the existing implementation as much as you can. So there are 5 types of inheritance: single, multi-level, hierarchical, multiple, hybrid. Single is supported by Java, multi-level is supported, and hierarchical by classes, okay? Multiple and hybrid inheritance are supported by Java and interfaces, not classes. Let us look at each of this. On the left side, you have single inheritance where class B inherits class A, so all the properties of class A can be used by class B. Multi-level is class C inherits class B inherits class A, okay? So each is a subclass, B subclass of class A, C subclass of, so this inheritance is allowed. And then hierarchical is 2 different classes inherit the same, extend the same class. This is also allowed. So the simple inheritance, as we see, there will be exactly one superclass and one subclass. The subclass will get the functionality exactly one superclass. The superclass is the parent class, okay? Multi-level, one superclass will have many subclasses. Third one is one superclass has many direct subclasses. Now, how do you inherit a class? Basically, you will say extends is the keyword used to inherit the properties of a class. Say for example, syntax class super is the parent class. The class sub extends super. What this means is the main class is super. You use extend to inherit that class. So now what is a super? Super is a keyword in Java which should be used in subclasses. It's used to access instance members of the superclass, methods of the superclass, constructors of the superclass. Is used to resolve conflicts between instance variables and subclass instance variables. It is generally used to access the superclass instance variables in subclass. See, you could have constructors, instance variables with the same name in different classes, but we'll go through some more slides before we look at them. The super is also used to access the constructor in the subclass. It is used for constructor chaining. That is, one constructor after another can be called. Like after you finish your child constructor, you call the parent constructors. So, but constructors are executed in the order of derivation. Like if you do an inheritance, the superclass will fire and then the subclass constructor. This is the reason because even though you create a subclass, when you extend it, the superclass gets initialized first. So that's why the constructor of the superclass runs. Super can be called with arguments if you want to invoke superclass parameterized constructor. Remember, we can have parameterized constructor, a different polymorphism, a different form of a constructor. In that case, you can call a super with parameters. If you don't write super in subclass, the default super will be added by JV. And this branch is going to, so it's going to give me an error that this package is not available. It cannot be. So I will just import this. Guys, now this you should be aware. I have packaged this here, right? So I'm importing this employee class. Now I got this employee. Now in my subclass, let me see what all I can do. First of all, I can say super, correct? And then let's run it. Constructor, right? And here I can change this. Now let's run this and see what happens. See what happens. I'm creating a new instance of this branch and see what happens. So if you see this, now see static run employee constructor run. None of this code is there in the branch. Can you see this? All of this are coming from where? From here. We have a static block, we have a constructor, all of that. Now if I want to call this employee, the overloaded constructor, what I have to do here is I will comment this rain and then mail. Call this constructor. Now see, this will create this, and I see it. I have not printed it, right? I hope you're getting what's happening. Super.getValues is going to get me the objects that I have created, values that I have created. This super invokes this method, the parent method. Parent constructor creates this object, and then when I call this, I get the parent method super.getValue. So this is how inheritance works. Okay, you can extend the value, so I can access the methods of the superclass. Pause the video here, practice this, and then we can